Welcome, everybody, to Big Ben and Ty Sports Cave.
It looks like
On the
Ty's
show.
having. You're okay. There you are. You're back. You're glitching there a little bit, but welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you, guys.
I'm back here.
Okay, we got Wade coming. Looks like Ty's having technical difficulties here, Wade. So, everybody, welcome to the show. It's Big Ben and Ty's Sports Cave. I am one of your hosts, Big Ben. Ty up there. We got Wade with us, and we got our former Rivermen for 7 years, Mike Gertler. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Yep, thank you.
So it's snowy here in our neck of the woods, so that's another reason why Ty is having some issues. So
yeah, shit, I'm having issues too. Hold on, I might have to leave and come back as well. Dang it!
I'm seeing
There,
it good
like
here
no
now.
volume.
There, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you're good now. You're perfect.
All right. So, as I was saying,
All right, take care of it, Wade, if you got to. Okay, bud.
take two. Like I said, he played 7 seasons, 1 SPL championship, and now he is currently the head coach of Bradley Braves hockey. We'd like to welcome Mike Gertler to the show. Mike, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So we'll get right into it. What age did you start playing hockey?
Ice hockey, 7 years old.
Okay.
I started playing street hockey first. And,
Nice.
I had a neighbor tell my dad that I should probably try to play ice hockey as well. And that's how that started. Get out of here. But yeah, no, I had a later start than a lot of kids do nowadays. So, but yeah, started then and never stopped.
Okay, and you're originally from like the New York area, correct?
Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're getting used to this. You're used to this kind of snow and stuff,
This
aren't
is
you?
nothing compared to the lake effect snow.
Yeah, I was
Lake
gonna say,
Ontario. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
When you were growing up, what was your
Yeah, there you
favorite
go.
team then in New York?
What's that?
What was your favorite team in New York when you were growing up?
When I was younger, I was a Brian Leach fan, so I liked the Rangers. But then I realized the Sabres were closer, and they've just let me down every year since then.
Well,
then,
we understand.
Yeah, no. And then being a Buffalo Bills fan, I was young for their four-peat of losing in the Super Bowl. But we have Josh Allen now, so that gives me hope a little bit. And
Right on.
but yeah, no, Buffalo sports for me.
Awesome.
Wade, do you have any questions for him?
Yeah. You got any?
I'm just sorry about that. Just getting up, third shift sucks, and just kind of waking up and gathering my thoughts here. But anyways, yes, I don't know if it's been asked. If it has, I apologize.
We just started the show, so it's all
Okay.
good.
Good. But one, I'm a big fan of yours, so glad to be able to talk with you. We could use a lot more Gertlers right now in the lineup, but I know you played one season with our current captain Alec Bear. I was actually hoping you can kind of tell us what it was like to play for that team back then and what you've seen with Alec Bear in the year you played with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's so I don't know if it's more going about like if we're talking about him being a captain, so to speak, in a way. or just playing with him. But when you go from a guy that's Alec Hageman, you're not going to get another captain anywhere across the board in the league that is like him, the way he does things. Hags is a guy you just follow. Hags wasn't, a man of many words. In the years previous, there was like guys like me or, Ben Escroba or some other guys that were more vocal. But as your captain, Hags, you just followed because he did everything right every single day. Hardworking guy. But then on the flip side, him and Bearsley, they're completely different people, completely different players, completely different roles expected out of them. From when I played with Alec, though, Bearsley, I guess they have the same first name. Bearsley, he's another guy you follow. I don't think he's as much as like a vocal guy, but more of a like, hey, he's our guy. He's going to produce. He's supposed to be our MVP. It's one of those things. It's tough to take over that role after a guy like Hags, who's the hometown kid, who's did it for how long he did it and did it that way. But I like I said, I haven't been to any games yet this year, but I know Bearsy, and I know that who's in that locker room. I know he has full control of that locker room. It's just a matter of everybody that has to buy in to what he's saying and preaching as a captain. Just because with Hags, you did that for years. So like you knew what you were getting out of Hags, right? So, Bearsy's first year, whatever, like guys have to adjust. It's a new captain. It's a new leadership. And I have all the faith in the world in that guy. I mean, he's won MVP in the league. He's led the league in scoring, like a completely different role than Hags had in the past. So I think you got to kind of be able to separate them and kind of view them as different captains and leaders. And it's not just on him. That's why Guy always makes a leadership group. So there's not just the captain. Then it's not just the assistant captains. He'll take some older guys too. And he brings you in every morning, every week, every Monday to what do we need to do? What needs to be better? So it's not just always on the captain. It's on the captains and then also his leadership group that he puts together.
Okay, with that question, how was it playing for Guy?
I'll tell you, I'll tell you this. I'm 38 now. In all my years of hockey, I have learned more from Guy and my little group of time here in Peoria than every other coach combined in my life. So the learning aspect, I learned more. Is he a tough coach? Absolutely. But does he know what he can get out of his players? That's the thing I think people misconstrue with like his toughness or like him yelling and all this, but he knows what he can get out of certain players and he'll push those buttons. Like, I mean, when you think about it, there's nobody here in Peoria right now that's played at the level he's played at and played with certain people and been coached by NHL coaches. So I love Guy. He's taken care of me. He's pushed me. He's pissed me off. But by all means, I'm the best coach I've played for in anywhere up and down my hockey career.
Nice,
Okay.
Nice, awesome.
Anybody else got a question before I jump in there with another?
How many teeth have you lost? No, I'm kidding.
They're all real.
There you go.
Well, I was going to say it's kind of fair to say that, the teams there was a lot of leaders in the locker room, right? A lot of different types, a lot of vocal types. Like, who are some of the guys that really stick out in your mind playing with that, were that vocal leaders that you kind of learned or maybe that pushed you to be a better player yourself?
So like I talked about how, you have your captains and assistants, but Guy always had a leadership group. and you didn't have to be a captain. It was someone that, might have been vocal. And I'll go back to like a guy like Matt Summers a while ago. Just someone that every guy in the locker room loved, and you followed him, you listened to him. He'd been around, done his thing. I went to college with Dan Bremner. He was my freshman roommate. When I got traded here, I moved in with Dan. Dan's just a guy that is like Hags. You just follow. You do what you like. He does what he has to do, and you follow. And obviously, they both have always had their teammates' backs. So it's a wide variety, because then you have a guy like Ben Ostroba, who everybody just loves. Like, he's the happy-go-lucky but leader that when he talks, you listen to, keeps the room light. I don't know, man. You get a mix of people in that locker room that all have their role, all have their voice. Some louder than others. But Guy, I think over the years, if you actually look at, like, Guy doesn't care how good you are. If you're not a fit for the locker room and you don't get along with what he wants to do, like, he'll ship you out. You got to be about the team, the locker room. We've had a lot of teams that finished first place and then, just came up short. But we had a lot of really good hockey teams. I still have group chats with some of those teams to this day. We talk daily. Cool. So it didn't matter if you're the leading scorer in the league. Guy he'll get you out of there if you don't fit what he wants to do with the team in the locker room. And I think at this point, since Guy's taken over however many years ago, like, you would think that it's an end game for Guy, right? Like, he's gonna tinker with the roster until he figures out what's right, and generally he figures out what's right. So he finds the character guys, the guys that mesh with each other, and you lose some guys along the way, but that's just part of the business.
Here's another question for you, kind of on the whole, finding teammates that fit. What team do you think was your favorite season? I mean, that could be just because it was fun. It was just because of the guys. What season do you think probably was? I mean, it could have probably been your last season too. I mean, you guys.
I can't take anything from coming back and winning that one. Gosh, I don't know what year it is, but it's if I got to go with. If I have to start listing names, maybe we can get the year.
Yeah.
Shoot. Man, that year we had Connor Toomey, Adam Stewart, Chris Wilson, obviously Scrobes, Brems. I think we finished first that year too. Like, but
Maybe.
that was just a group of guys that, like, understood at the rink, away from the rink, like, hockey, it's also a business, so we still had fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I know obviously we came up short. I think that was the year we lost to Pensacola in the finals, if I remember correctly. That was the year they brought 13 guys back from the coast, but whatever. But we're
not counting, right?
No, yeah, who cares? Nobody was paying attention to that. But that year with that group of guys, it was just a group of guys that enjoyed hockey, had fun with each other at the rink, away from the rink, and we had a lot of fun. And that, like I said, that's the one group chat that we still all keep in touch every day.
That's really cool.
Okay. So this is going to be kind of a funny question. What
Yep.
team did you absolutely hate playing?
Playing against?
Yes.
If I had Evansville on the road, because the trip sucked. We leave the day of. You drive 5.5, 6 hours.
Yeah.
You stop at Panera Bread and get to the rink. You get changed and you just jump on the ice. At our time was an empty stadium, an empty arena. That trip sucked. I mean, other than that, I like playing on the road, man. There's some good fun rinks to play in. So, but the Evansville one, when I played, yeah, no, thank you.
So what team did you enjoy playing?
When I played, because I played for Huntsville.
Okay, yeah.
So I like going back there. One, because they sell out their arena and they do a great show. They do they do their whole thing there. So, but also get to see some people back there. Knoxville's fun. The old school rink. Everybody's drinking around the boards, slamming on the glass the whole game. You think you'd like to go to Pensacola, but the ice always sucks down there. It's melting all the time. So it's never good ice down there. The trip down there is nice, but, playing on that ice is not fun. But
Yeah.
No, Huntsville, Knoxville, they're really good places to play against.
No, okay. And like I said, we've had conversations at Owen Center because, both of our kids play hockey against each other. And I remember some of those conversations. And I remember you telling me about the Evansville trip. You said, you do the morning skate in Peoria, then you get on the bus, and then you got to drive. Then you go, like you said, you could stop at Panera, and then
you're at the rink and you get dressed.
Yeah, and it was kind of like that with me. And I went to played football in college, and we had a trip kind of like that. We'd always stop at the Pizza Ranch there in Iowa.
Yep.
And then we'd go up to Minnesota, and then boom, we had to play. And it's just like, man, I just got done eating pizza and fried chicken. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, Wade, got a question? I know you're brewing over there.
Yeah, I got one. I was always kind of curious because I know we had good teams back then, and I always felt like we were kind of robbed, kind of like the championship that never was. But I was wondering if you could tell me, back during dreaded COVID, what it was like to be a minor league hockey player back then. You had a season shortened, and then you had teams not play the following year before the Rivermen finally won their championship. What was it like being in hockey during that point in time, during that weird transition that was the COVID era?
Honestly, I didn't play that season. That was my first year when I retired.
Right.
The guys had the COVID season. Yeah, I wasn't playing that year, but I remember talking to Scrobes. They were on the bus. I think they were down at Fayetteville when they called the season off. I think they actually drove all the way down there, and actually I think it was Peoria and Fayetteville were both in first place at the time, so it was like a big weekend for the standings. But he was like texted me and said that everything's shutting down. But yeah, no, I didn't play, but I listened to a lot of it, and it's tough, man. Like a lot of these guys, like it's not like you're making a living playing in the SPHL, but for a lot of these guys, it is their livelihood. Or some guys are trying to make teams, and some guys are, you cancel a year like that, somebody might just be done, after that. Like, oh well, this is it, I'm done. So yeah, I don't know on the side of the playing part, because that was my first year retired. But yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine, and it sucks because both those teams were having really good seasons at the time before it got canceled.
And then what led you to coming back to being on that championship team, to winning that with the Rivermen, in which I'm sure you were elated to do that? That must have been amazing to come back during that time and using your contribution as well, because when you're in the lineup, you contribute well. You contributed well coming back. So what kind of led to that? Like what you said, he's kind of retired, and then next thing you know, you're on the championship Rivermen team.
Yeah, no, in all honesty, it was the veteran rule at the time, so we couldn't have too many veterans on the team, and Jack was born that year, so I retired, and Guy reached out a few times in the years leading up to the year I came back, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And I was coaching the youth hockey team then, and we were actually at a tournament in St. Louis, and Guy reached out, and I was like, all right, you know what? If we're gonna do this, I want to do it like the right way. I don't want to just play a few games here or there. Like, if I'm going to come back, I want to come back, play, practice, be there with everybody. And, Guy was absolutely the best with it, because he was like, if you need to miss practice to be with Jack, if you need to, even miss a weekend by chance. And I'm like, I'm not missing any games, but, he was all, bring Jack to practice. If I need to miss something for him, he was all about it. I think at the time when he called, it was bringing in like a veteran at the time to come help.
Mm-hmm.
But, being able to come back, obviously being able to score in the first game back was awesome.
Yep.
But, like I said, I wanted to be all in. I didn't want to be, let me just play a couple of games here and there. So it was good. The youth team was like, yeah, get the hell out of here, go play. So, I had other dads that were ready to take over and coach. So they were all ready to, get me out of there and go. But yeah, no, coming back for that year was a really good experience. One of the best ones.
And see, and that's probably one side we don't see of Guy. Like, he really cares for his players.
He will go to war for any one of his players. Even now, if I called Guy right now for something, he would answer, and whatever it took, he would, he comes off as the hard guy, which I'm sure everybody in the arena can hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And we hear it in the locker room, and, but, he's done enough for me to, whether it's, hey, do you want to help coach camps? Do you want to jump on the ice here? Do you want to do this or that? Like, he's always there for guys, past or present. And like I said, if I called him right now, he'd answer and do whatever, be there for, to an extent, do whatever he had to do to help me out. Yeah. So for sure.
I'm surprised your phone hasn't rang this year.
I've told him to stop. No, no more.
Believe me, like I told you at the beginning, we could use a few Gertlers on this team right
now. The back hurts too much now. I can't do it.
And so let's go into Bradley. What wanted you to start coaching Bradley?
So the year we won, we had fun all summer, and Bradley started calling, and I don't know where they got my number or whatnot, and so I told him, first things first. Like, I wanted to stay in hockey, but I had Jack. So this was now, I'm in my fourth year, so 3 years ago, technically, I guess. So he was just starting hockey. So when they called to take over the job, I was like, okay, here's the deal, though. Like, I'm not missing anything with my son, yada, yada, yada. So we worked out the contract. And the thing with Bradley, we practice twice a week. And it's not by that we don't want more practices. It's just, they pay to play. And then the ice time at the Owen Center, right? Like, our practices are at 9:45 at night, which I'm fine with. Because the guys have classes till 8:30, so I don't want anyone missing practice. So we hold, we do them late. But, they've been really good working with me, to work with Jack. And, a lot of our games are in the Chicago area, so we get home on Saturday nights. So, I leave Friday, I'm back by Saturday night. And, it's fun listening to these college kids, which I'm like, man, I was never like that. I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't know, but no, it's been fun. It's a different level of hockey, but we, because Nate Chastain, started with me, and he's had his baby. So now he's kind of taking a step back, but, he still helps out. And, we teach, we coach, and we do our practices just like he does. Bradley's practices are just like the Rivermen's practices were. So, I enjoy it. It gives me my hockey fix. you know,
Mhm.
extent. And, you know, we'll see how much longer I do it until, you know, if Jack wants to do hockey serious, and we'll see. We'll go from there.
Yeah. So that was like kind of my next question. Like, do you see yourself long term there, or do you want to go? Do you want to like be with Jack? Did you want to be a semi-professional coach? What was your plan after retirement? I guess is my question. I know, like I said, we talked about it a little bit. Because you said you want to be with Jack, and like I said, I won't miss my son's hockey. They play together, and hopefully maybe they'll grow up together and play hockey together. But yeah, what was your plan after retirement? Like right after retirement, were you like, oh man, do I want to coach? Do I want to do this? What was your plan? I guess my question is.
There was no plan.
Really?
There was no plan. I'd worked with, I had a good friend, Andy Babcock, who, owned Roto-Rooter, and I, did that in the off seasons. A lot of us did, actually, me, Hags, Bremner, Scrobes, all. It had our summer, work with Roto-Rooter. And then, I did it full time when I was retired for a little bit. And then, I didn't really know what I was going to do afterwards. I did the youth hockey, but I couldn't do the youth hockey parents anymore. They were, they knew more.
We're the parents.
yeah. They knew more than me. So that's why I said, yeah, all right, you're right. Yep.
Well, the difference though between you and them is you actually know what you're doing, whereas they don't.
Yeah.
You should hear what they say to you, though.
Yeah, you should go to a game, Ben. Trust me. Me and him has been on the sidelines going, whatever.
we hide in the far corner, so we don't have to be anywhere near the parents.
We do.
Yeah. No, but I had no clue, and then Bradley came about, and it's worked out perfect. So
that's good. Now I know, Mike, you got to be getting going here because you got a sledding date.
We're gonna get outside in the snow. Well, at least it looks like the snow stopped a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
It does look like it stopped a little bit where I'm at. Yeah.
Before we wrap up here, we'd love to have you back on and
absolutely.
Maybe have like a part 2 to this. Any last questions before he gets going here, guys? And then, like I said, we can always save questions for later because, like I said, I see him every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday morning. So
8 a.m.
So when you do play the games, where do you play them at again? Or
just the Owen Center.
So you're at the Owen Center as well?
For Bradley?
Yes.
Yes.
For home
Yep.
games?
We're out of the Owen Center. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Right down the road from me. Okay. Cool.
I just got one question, and then I'm good with you, Mike.
Yep.
I know you haven't been paying attention much this year, haven't had a chance to, but it's been some struggles and inconsistencies. Like I said, just it seems like the team's having trouble meshing since some of the veterans have left. You being a vocal leader like yourself, what is something that maybe you might say to get these guys going, to get back on the same page, and maybe to clean up some of these more mistakes and be more consistent playing with each other?
Good question.
Yeah. So this part of the season, and it's a quote that Guy says every year. He calls it the dog days of the year. It's snowing. It's around the holidays. Our guys looking forward to like Christmas, going home for a day. I don't know what their Christmas break is this year. Like, I usually stuck around here, but it's the one thing I've always said, and player wise, they have great leaders in that room. They do. I mean, I know Bearsy, Barks, Gillette, Ches, the guys I know that I've met, they're great leaders. They're guys that you do follow. And Guy's going to always have a plan in place. I think that's one thing I think a lot of people maybe don't see or, maybe realize, being on the outside, right? Like not being a player in the room or something like we see it. I know it now. He's got a plan in place, whether it's, hey, let's get through this. Let's do this. Let's do, the next week in a 3-game set. Let's try to win those 3 games.
Right.
Like it's a playoff series. Let's treat it like a playoff series. Let's do this. Guy's never going to stop sleeping until he's got the team he wants, the team that's playing the right way. And I think like in the past, like, I played on some teams that I think we only lost 7 games one year or something, that one team. But I think he realizes like, it doesn't matter if we win the coffee cup, you get first place for the regular season. As long as you have a healthy team that he wants when it's time to go into the playoffs, you're going to be in a good position, and Guy will never rest until he has that.
So he always has a plan B, C, and D in place.
Oh, he's got
always
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's down the line. He's not going to settle. He won't settle until he's got who he thinks are his best 22 or whatever that you can carry into playoffs. He's not going to settle until he has that. And some people might view it in the past as like, oh, he got rid of this guy or this guy. Well, you know what? Like, people might say, oh, Guy did that. Well, you know what? Like, maybe what about the guys in the locker room didn't want that guy? Or what about how that guy didn't mesh with the team? Or, can you get a couple more pieces by getting rid of one guy?
Or that guy had a slappy slap shot that wasn't going, like a bullet straight, and it was going wide all the time.
Yeah. And then also, hey, if you can get rid of a guy that, might carry a little weight, and some other teams will give you a couple extra players. It's, sometimes you get rid of a guy while he's, it's hard to explain, but from the inside, Guy has a plan. He always has a plan, and he's not going to settle until it's perfect. And he's got Levy now, so like he's got him and Levy, and they're going to doctor up this roster until they have it perfect. And when it comes to playoff, they'll have the guys that are ready to go.
So, all right, Mike. Well, like I said, we'll let you get going sledding with your son. Have fun. Have fun, and I'll talk to you probably on Tuesday, bud.
See you Tuesday.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Yep. See you guys.
All
right. Well, let's.
Okay. Before that, let's do a commercial break.
Yeah, let's do a little commercial break. Wade, go ahead and tell us about that Bayleaf Indian Restaurant and Bar.
There, Bayleaf Indian Restaurant and Bar, downtown Peoria area, a couple blocks away from the arena. Not sure if you would want to walk in this per se.
No.
Pretty crappy weather out right now, but they are still, crappy weather or not, serving great food. Fair prices, and again, these guys have over 300 plus great reviews with their food and service. So it is a great place to dine, and it's a great new experience if you haven't ate food like that before. So when you get a chance, head on down to Bayleaf Indian Restaurant and Bar, check them out, see what they're about, and tell them Wade sent you.
All right.
Back to
and I would like to apologize to our viewers about the beginning of the show. I've been having internet issues, so now I'm on my phone. So, but yeah, we'll definitely have Gertler back on.
That was
part
very
two,
nice. That's very nice.
I think we could have went another 45 minutes to an hour just talking to him. So,
right.
But anywho,
it was a pleasure to see him. So
yeah. So we'll start talking about last night. Last night, Rivermen lost 3-1. The only goal scorer last night was Garrett Devine in the third period with like 2-3 minutes left in the.
A minute left, just over a minute.
A minute left in the third. Thank God we didn't get shut out. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I mean, it just wasn't Rivermen hockey. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Wade, I mean, we talked a little bit last night. Like you said, it's like beating a dead horse. But do you have anything you want to add to that, or?
I mean, what else is there to say that we haven't already said? It's still the same issues, still the same problems plaguing us, and you're just waiting for them to get over this hump. You're just wait. You think they're about to do it, and then you get a game like this.
Yeah.
Like, fellas.
Well, now that I've heard what Mike mentioned earlier, it's like it's the holidays and the guys are probably thinking of wanting to be with their family, so they're kind of laxing a little bit, thinking about that instead of thinking about the game, and that's what I kind of tend to go for with the lack of winning for the Rivermen.
Yeah, and I agree with you in ways, Ben, but and I'm sure Wade would kind of agree with me on this. It's just an excuse.
Yeah,
It's
I get that
they're
too.
excuses, and if that's the case, then like Wade said, hopefully they get over that because
The difference between Gertler teams and this team is Gertler teams maybe like 3-4 bad games, not an entire season.
yeah, I mean, yeah, this has been consistent bad play for the last month, probably. I would say. I heard a pretty strong comment last night on Facebook from a long-time Riverman fan. Like I said, I'm not going to name any names. Long-time Riverman fan, long-time season ticket holder, that they said this is the worst team they've seen play since they've been Riverman season ticket holders in 2001. So that says something. I mean, when you have a fan that's been a season ticket holder since the year 2000 and saying
24
that this
years,
is the
20,
worst
20, yeah.
team they've ever seen play, I mean that is some strong words right there.
Right.
I mean I'm gonna lighten the mood a little bit, but I almost want to say they look a little bit better than my St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
But
Blues
They
did
ain't look any better than my
Yeah.
Blackhawks. So.
they did beat the Blackhawks though.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Yeah.
But anywho, so like I said, we're not going to beat a dead horse. Last night, it's what we used to say when I played football in high school and college. We throw away that tape and we move on.
Yep.
Yeah, you
And
gotta do something like that. Yeah.
yeah, so tonight they play against Knoxville again tonight. I'm going to guess we're going to see Tino in the net tonight. Jack did not have I wouldn't say it's his fault at all last night. The defense was not, blocking shots. He did. I wouldn't want to say he whiffed on one because he really didn't whiff on it, but I don't think he tracked it like Wade said. He didn't track it as well as he probably has in the past. But again, when your defense is not really helping you out, I mean, I can see a goalie kind of just being like, well, shit, like it's just one of those things where last night I was excited. My son was, the Vonnie's player of the game. He thought that was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he got to fist bump Jack Bostet. Marks went up to him and stood right next to him and everything. And, I was hoping for a good show. We had Jack in net, like Wade and I have said in the past, just like Ben said in the past. We feel confident with Jack in the net.
Yeah.
And, I could almost tell we were going to be in trouble the first period, honestly. Even though we outshot them, but the quality of shots.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, the fight right off, the first part of the period, which ended up in a suspension. I don't know if anybody's seen that. The player,
I read about it on the Facebook page.
yeah, the player that left, he got suspended for 3 games, so he won't be in tonight's lineup for Knoxville. But tonight, they play Knoxville again at 7:15. I'm going to ask this question, Wade. What do you think of Knoxville's helmets?
I was talking with the person next to me who's a season ticket holder on the helmets. They're just like, there's something about them that's just, I don't know. It just seemed like weird in a way. Like it annoyed her. Kept the whole game. It's just like, there's just something about those helmets.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree.
So since I didn't get to see it, what do they look like? Were they just
They have a bear like on just one side.
okay?
Like it would look better if they had it on both sides, but they just have it on one side.
And it's a
And
big,
yeah,
you
it's a big bear. And my wife goes, it'd look better if they just put it on the back of the helmet.
Right.
Like, but it's just one big bear on the one side that goes all the way down to like the ear loop on the helmet. And it's just one side. I mean,
like,
it's
so like on this side, and it was like comes all the way down to
yeah. I mean, that's really
that whole
kind
area,
of.
and then comes down.
If I could, I'd go get Braxton's real hockey helmet and show you. But
this is a popcorn bucket from the old days, everybody's.
oh, they have a number on the other side. That's what my wife's saying. But yeah, no, I looked at those and I'm just like, I'm not sure if I like them or not. So, but
they weren't
tonight,
very pleasing to the eye.
no, they're not, and then they're actually kind of distracting. Maybe that's what they were going for.
Right.
But tonight is Christmas vacation jerseys. That was another thing I was going to ask Mike, but like I said, we'll save that on another show. Did he like any of his specialty jerseys? But anywho, tonight is Christmas vacation night, 7:15. Wade and Ben, what would you like to see tonight, especially after coming off the loss last night? And it wasn't to me. They just got outplayed, in my opinion.
Why don't you go ahead first, Ben?
As I always say, and I'll keep saying it, they need to set the tone. They need to set the tone with scoring first. They need to set the tone with being, as Wade always says, Rivermen style in the middle, and be aggressive with their defense to make sure they like you said earlier, block the goals and just be more aggressive. It sounds like to me from what you guys been saying, because I can't really watch it per se, except for seeing clips and stuff. They just need to be just aggressive like they were, and they just need to mesh a little bit better. And I think they'll start doing better. So, as the saying goes, they need to get the craw out of their ass and get moving.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry for the colorful language, but anyway, that's what I think. So
yeah, you ain't kidding though, because something needs to happen with this team to spark something. I mean, we're the same old just ain't working. Believe it or not, I actually talked to a few Ice Bear fans, and they thought the Rivermen were basically outplaying them the whole game, and that a few of their shots found holes, but they thought that could have very easily been the Rivermen, not the Ice Bears, and that would shock the shit out of me to hear them say that. But I was just like, man, we thought the Rivermen were out playing Ice Bears, and it's like, man, we're this ain't close to our best. Like, this ain't even scratching the surface of that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you thought we were playing some decent hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we weren't.
It's not. It's like, don't let that shot volume fool you. Yes, I know we put pucks on net, but we couldn't control the puck in the offensive zone worth of shit. The quality of shots weren't there.
The passing,
just not executing. Executing.
The passing is horrible still.
Yeah. I actually talked to Dinger the other night too, which because I found it was funny. Like I said, I've always been a fan of Dinger, and I've talked to him a little bit even before he was an Ice Bear, which I found it funny because Chartrand seemed to be getting that on his nerves a lot.
Yes.
The other game, to where he was actually shoved on his ass. That he kind of gave me a wink on that one. And basically what happened with that goal is, it was which I thought it was too. That's what I told him. I was just like, I'm a personal fan of yours. When we're down 3-0 that time, I was actually hoping you would get shut out, but I was just like, I've always liked you, and I was like, but it looked like that last shot just kind of clipped maybe an ice bear, and he's like, yep. He goes, I was a little screened off, clipped the ice bear, went in. He goes, yeah, it kind of sucks to lose a shutout that way in the last minute, but that's sometimes how it falls. And so, it's just like, well, let's use some more of that puck luck. I mean, just we can use a lot more of it. And preferably not in the last minute. But anyways, getting on to the point here. Tonight, like I said, the shot volume, hey, that's great to see. It is. I would just like to see more quality and more puck control in the offensive zone, more of them setting it up and sustaining pressure in the zone and executing good shots on goal.
Yeah.
You don't have to find a perfect one, but I want to see better quality with that volume as well. And I want to see sustained pressure, and I don't want to see him just get one shot and then we got to go chase the puck out of the zone and bring it back in. Like, let's how about we stay in there, set up in there, and get to a couple rebounds and win some puck and board battles, and let's see if we could have success that way. That would be a great change of pace, guys. And that's what I'm really hoping for. That's what I'll be looking for in this game. Sustained pressure in the offensive zone, better team defense, and during warmups, I'll be looking to see who comes out of that gate first, Tino or Bosted. Bosted started 3 in a row. I'd say it's probably going to be Tino.
Yeah.
So, we'll just have to wait and see. Could be I can never say the dude's name. I'm horrible with names, especially when they're not on my team.
Yeah.
But the backup goalie for Mundinger, it's possible we could see him as well, because I think Dinger has started a few in a row as well. So, I
think we outplayed them physically.
I think we had a good first 10 minutes of hockey. I will say that. I think we did have a good first 10 minutes, but again, it went downhill after that. And it's again, if we give up the first goal, it just seems to suck the air right out of them.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Kind of think of it.
Yeah, and it's just when that late goal happened, because it was late in the first period, and Rivermen are horrible about letting in late goals and periods. It does. It just seems to take the air out of the room with the fans, with the players. And you could tell, like, Boston was a little frustrated that went in.
Yeah.
It looked like the 2 pylons in front of them. I'm talking about Rivermen players that just I thought they could have maybe made a better effort to get in the shooting lane, maybe block a shot, but it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for it. Just Ice Bears executed better. That's the name of the game. They executed their game plan better and got the win. And look, I thought they looked decent in doing it.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we can get some momentum. Keep putting in that hard effort, and like I said, just let's establish the zone. Let's get some work in here.
Yeah. What did you think of the new player last night? I think he's a speedy guy, and he's got a lot of energy, and he's hungry. I think he's really hungry for a goal, and it's kind of a fresh, a breath of fresh air, because, I mean, to see as much effort as he was putting in last night, like I said, I was down there, so Braxton wanted to pick up pucks for the Chuck-a-Puck, so I'm standing down there the last, 5 minutes, and just seeing him skate is just, he's quick. He's very quick, and it's good to see that from a young player that's trying to make it, maybe into the SPHL. So I mean, what was your I guess, analytic process with him last night.
I thought he looked good too. I really did. He did look quick out there. He, like what you said, he was putting in the effort. He was on the third line last night. You know, you can kind of tell they were easing him in there. I'd like to see a bump up tonight. Maybe even elevate him to the second line, give him a little more ice time, and see what he can do. I like I said, he was moving his feet out there. He was fighting for the puck. I mean, when the puck went into the boards, he's not the biggest guy, but he was like one of the first ones in there.
Yeah.
You know, so I like that. That's what I like to see, that high energy, always moving, quick feet. Yeah, I liked what I seen. And so maybe Guy rewards that effort, maybe elevates him, gives him a little more ice time in tonight's game. I mean, what could it hurt?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I thought he played really well. And I'm not trying to bring up old whatever, but, you know, I was standing down there when the players come out because, you know, Braxton was the player of the game, and everybody's hitting the hard, you know, hitting the ice hard, skating hard, you know, to get out there for lineup, you know, introductions. And I see one player, and I'm sure Wade can guess what player just come out lackadaisical, just nonchalant, just come out and like he didn't really want to be there. I'm sure Wade knows who I'm talking about. And it's sad to see that. And, you know, listening to Mike's, you know, say, you know, he knows what he's doing, and it's just I think for other Peoria Rivermen fans, it's hard to see a captain do the kind of stuff the way he's doing it.
Maybe we are used to hags, and like
Yeah.
what he said, they're two different type of leaders.
Yeah.
It's just a noticeable difference between him and hags on how they lead the team. And yeah, I mean, he's got a point. Maybe we are used to hags.
Yeah.
It's hard to replace a guy like you don't replace it. I said it's hard. You don't replace a guy like Hags. But you know, like I said, honestly, I thought Alec Bear did a better job and was more noticeable on the ice as a captain and leader last season as opposed to this season. And I don't know if that's because his support is gone with like Wilkie, JMP, and Ernst. You know, I mean, it really, with those guys gone, all the eyes really do shift to Alec Bear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's a lofty role. I mean, you're not just, you know, a captain, you're the Rivermen captain, and all the eyes are going to go on you. That's the name of the game. That's just what it is. That's what you accept when you put that C on your chest, you know, and you got to elevate your game to meet those standards, you know.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I agree.
And that's what you just like to see, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I think us Rivermen fans are so used to, you know, in your face type of captain, you know, and you know, come barreling through that tunnel and, you know, ready to take charge, and then like I said, it kind of bothered me last night, you know, just seeing him, you know, nonchalant, just skate out there like, yep, I'm here, I'm on the ice, and to me that's just I don't know what else to say. Like I said, I'm not gonna make this whole show about bashing him, but so
fire.
Yeah. So let's go to our keys and players to watch tonight. Ben, go ahead and give us your 3 keys to the game tonight, and then we'll get to Wade's 3 keys and players to watch.
Pretty much what I said a little earlier is they got to get the goal first. They got to be in the neutral zone, be hard. They got to be more defensive, like Riverman style, as we always say, and set the tone. And they just need to do things like that. Just go instead of just being like, oh, well, it's tough. And it's like, I need to not push. They just need to keep pushing, you know.
So, all right, Wade, what's your 3 keys and 3 players to watch like we normally do here?
All right. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of combine 2 of them because they're very closely related. I need to see the first goal. We don't. It seems like I've said earlier, we get the wind sucked out of us when we give up that first goal, and but also in that same breath, not giving up the late goal, not giving up the goal in the last minute of the first period or second period, because I've been noticing that happening here in the past couple of games. Rather it's been Tino or Boston, when either one of them give up a goal, it's normally like within the last 5 minutes of the period or like the first 5 minutes. Like that middle section there, they're pretty good. But it's that first couple minutes or that last couple minutes they seem to be getting a goal. So let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's get the first goal. I think that will spark this team if we can get that first goal, especially in the first period.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my keys. Also, it's let's play aggressive tonight. And I don't mean let's go out there and be undisciplined and take penalties. It's not the aggression I'm talking about. I'm talking about finishing your checks, getting something going, man. Like let's bring the fans alive, give them something to get energetic about that will energize this team. Finish your checks and just battle hard. Board battles, puck battles, just keep battling. That's what I want to see as well. And my last key of the game, again, is just I want to see that consistent effort. I'm going to keep using this as a key to the game until I see it. I want to see a consistent effort, 60 minutes, and it's going to be one of my keys, like I said, until I see it happen, and I haven't seen it happen yet. So if you want to win consistently, it's pretty easy. You play consistent.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that works. My players to watch. I'm gonna be my eyes are gonna be on the new guy, Caden Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I liked what I seen in game 1, and like I said, I'm hoping he gets some more ice time and possibly elevated up to the second line. So I kind of got my eyes on Caden Henry for sure. Also, who I got my eye on is name's escaping me. Holy crap! On the D there, Jordan Henderson. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
New guy, Jordan Henderson. Like I said, I have liked some things that I've seen with him, but I've kind of seen him maybe try to overdo it too much as well. It's hard to explain, but I know he's just trying to find his spot in this lineup, his niche.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I like his effort and hustle. I think he has been showing hustle and effort for sure. And, so I want to see how he plays in tonight's game. And lastly, who I got marked down is Tristan Trudell. After last night, the fight with Paxton, now he's gone. The hit on Dawson McKinney, that a lot of people thought Tristan would be suspended for that hit, and he was. So now it's just like I want to see how Tristan plays tonight, because I think Knoxville is not happy that their guy got suspended for 3 games, that Dawson McKinney, was out a full period. And, Tristan may be a target. They may want to try and get Tristan out of that game and to take a major penalty that they can take advantage of.
Yeah.
So I want to see how Tristan plays. I'd like to see him again, maybe even try and get on the board.
Yeah.
He's 2 goals this season. he's a good player. He can put the puck in the net.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got my eye on him tonight.
Well, my 3 keys is clean up the passing. Passing has been horrible the last couple games. It's not, well, it goes back to the consistency. The passing just not consistent enough. 1 minute's good passing, and then the next minute they pass it to, I don't know who they're passing it to. My second key is control the neutral zone. Last night we had no control over the neutral zone, and that's due to the passing. And I'm going to kind of combine this with the neutral zone. Control your offensive zone. We could not, like you said earlier in the show, we could not stay in our offensive zone to save our soul last night. It seems like every time we'd shoot, it'd go right to a Knoxville player, and they could just get it out of their defensive zone. It was just consistently happening to us that we would shoot, it would rebound. No one was there for the rebounds because there was a lot of juicy rebounds last night, and no one was there. So yeah, I just control the neutral zone, control your offensive zone. My third key is tonight be disciplined. Kind of like what Wade said, they're gonna come at. I think they are gonna come at some of our players. I mean, they were coming after McChesney last night.
Yeah.
So I mean, just no stupid penalties. Play smart. Finish your checks though. Don't be scared to finish your checks. And yeah, I think those 3 keys, I think that would be phenomenal to see tonight. My 3 players that I'm going to watch is I'm going to watch Massey. He's been itching to get a goal. He's been getting close again. He puts on a good effort. I don't ever see him take a play off. He's kind of one of those Frank Trezeras almost. He goes 110%, and I really enjoy watching him. The second player I'm going to watch is the new kid, Henry. Like I said, like you said, I think he looked really phenomenal last night. To be honest, I mean, I think he has a motor, and his motor's going 1,000 RPM or 10,000 RPMs at all times. He was trying to go for the loose puck. He was trying to figure out where he needed to be because he even had some time on the power play last night. And
is this kid from the area? For the guy from the area?
No.
Okay.
And when you said he was a little smaller and he was battling against the boards, I mean, the FPHL is known as a fight club, pretty much. So I mean, he's probably used to getting kind of roughed up in the FPHL, and he's probably thankful that he's up here in the SPHL. So, because I mean, yes, we got some big guys, and yes, there's some hard hits, but it seems like down there it's more prevalent, I should say. Yeah. And my third guy I'm going to be watching is Braden Barker. He is starting to throw his body around a little bit more. He's starting to kind of be one of those antagonizers, as we call it. I like his way of playing. Again, he was a defenseman turned into a forward. So he has that defensive mind, but he's very good on the forecheck. I did also see Guy put Denier on forward. He's been looking good. But yeah, so I'll be looking for Barker. Like I said, he's probably one of my favorite players to watch. He kind of reminds me of Hageman in a way, where he does what he has to do. And I think he's a vocal leader. I do want to touch on this real quick before we kind of wrap up this. While I was down there waiting for the Chuck-a-Puck, and where I was, I could see the bench, and I could tell last night that the guys are getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And then like I said, I told my wife last night, I said the boys are getting frustrated. And they are. And that's either going to be good or it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Because the problem with being frustrated is then I've seen on other teams, they start pointing fingers. And we don't want that.
No.
I mean, we want them to
Right.
come as a team and be like, all right, guys, we need to get our shit together and let's do this. And I could just kind of see it last night that they're getting frustrated. I think that's why, like McChesney, I think that's why he did what he did last night and kind of boarded that guy, even though I don't know if you really could. I didn't really get a good angle at it, but I could just see that they're getting very, very frustrated. Let's touch on that just real quick. Wade, did you kind of see that too?
Yeah. I mean, I did. I seen that across the board. I think it's frustration due to a lot of things. I think offense is the main focus on that too. I think they've been frustrated on their lack of execution. I seen last night a new level, I think, of frustration from Trudell. Kind of started off that first a little animated, but in the second and third, he kind of just hung back. And you don't see a Jean-Guy Trudell hang back. Like, that doesn't describe him in the least bit. But I could tell that by his body language, and when I could see his face, the look on his face, I think he's just as sick of this shit as we are. And he's just like, dude, I don't even. He's like, what are you guys gonna play shitty hockey? Fine, play shitty hockey. Let's see how that works for you. That's pretty much what his body language looks like. Almost like, are you done? Now you ready to listen to me and get on board, or you still want to try and do it your way?
Yeah.
You know? So it's just I'm kind of starting to see a new level of frustration with the coach, which, like you said, could be a good thing or could be a bad thing. I'm thinking it's more of a good thing to help bring this team together. Like what Gertler said, he's out there playing chess. He's 3 moves ahead of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he is trying to send a message to his players as well.
Yeah. So again, tonight, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation night, 7:15. If you guys are going tonight, drive safe. I believe it is done snowing, so
it looks like it's done. Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully by the time I have to leave here in about 45 minutes to an hour, the roads will be halfway clear. It was not very nice coming home from the Owen Center this morning.
That's when it first started too.
Yeah. So, I mean, even in my big truck, it was pretty testy because they plowed one side but not the other. So I was on the side, of course, that they didn't. So
that's how it works out.
4x4 and go 30 miles an hour.
I did have it in 4-wheel drive, not because it couldn't get through it, but it's a little easier to maneuver. But
in the slick stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, tonight 7:15, Carver Arena. We'll play against the Knoxville Ice Bears again. Probably we'll see Tino in goal tonight. That would be my guess.
Right.
I would be shocked if he started Jack Bostet tonight. But, like I said, we've said this in the past. I believe there is something missing with this team. And Guy just has not found that yet. Or he maybe has found it and he's waiting. Because you guys got to remember, too, I believe we have a couple future considerations out there.
Yeah.
I think we have a couple coming to us, but we also owe, I think, like 3 to other teams, if I remember right. So, I mean, and I'm not trying to drag this show on even more, but some people are saying, we want Cahill, we want Cahill. Well, that's fine. But, and I'm not taking anything away from Caden. Nothing away from Caden. Great player. Loved it when he was here. Would he maybe help us? Maybe. But I think right now we need a goal scorer. Like, a 100% goal scorer. And I'm not sure if Caden could fill that void right now. Because we do have a future consideration from Fayetteville. Wade, I'll get your quick response on that, and then we'll probably wrap it up here.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, from his time in Pansy to his time in Fayetteville, the best we've seen Caden Cahill play was in a Rivermen uniform.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gee can get the best out of Caden, more so than, well, definitely more so than Pensy last year. It's a different coach now, but the coach Gary Graham last year, I think Gee can get a little more out of Caden than what he could get. And I think he could even get more out of Caden than what Sharkey can. What I'd love to see Caden back in Peoria in uniform. That could provide a boost to see a familiar face back in the lineup.
Yeah.
You just never know until the person's actually there. So of course it would be good to see Caden come back. And like I said, I do think we do like what you said. I think we owe a future consideration to Storm as well. So I don't. Like I said, it's hard. Future considerations can mean so much in this league. And it can come at any time. That's the thing too. So it's just hard telling. A lot of things have to go right. I mean, a lot of things would have to go right for it to be a player like Caden Cahill that would come over. So I wouldn't 100% look for it, but would I be shocked? I don't know if I would be shocked, honestly, especially given the situation over there. So we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully we do got some help coming on the way, and we'll just have to wait and see. Like what you said, Gee's out there looking for that missing link.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's Gertler. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, and I agree. I mean, would I be shocked? No, but I don't know. It's one of those deals where we just got to wait and see what Gee has in store. I mean, the old saying, trust in Gee, because, I mean, he's not the most winningest coach in the SPHL history for nothing. So,
exactly.
Anywho, we'll wrap this show up. Like I said, tonight, if you're going to Carver Arena, please drive safe. On behalf of me, Big Ben, and Wade, have a good weekend. Have a safe weekend. And Wade, which way do we always do it? All right.